to you live for the third time this evening from Greenville, South Carolina. I hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. I'm going to try my damnedest to keep this phone steady while I talk to y'all for a little while. I tried to do a hangout style stream with Kristen, but we just had technical issues and then the sound went and I just give up. But hey, man, we get A's for effort sometimes too, don't we? Anyway, I'll give y'all a chance to pop in and join me here before I actually get started talking. If I hadn't mentioned, I love you guys very much. Thank you for joining me whenever you do. And happy birthday to me, man. Wow, another year down, man. So, let's see here. There was a few things that I wanted to touch on, but I really feel kind of silly talking when there's nobody in the stream, so I'll just give it another minute. What do you say? Have a smoke if you got them. Oh, wow. Hello. Hey, everybody. 2 people in there. Hello. Thank you, Tabby, Robbie, Tricks McMagic Pants. I love that name. Theo Truther, what's up? Thank you. All right. So looks like we're live and y'all have popped in a bit. So again, was trying to do a hangout style stream, but we were just having some technical issues. Oh, what's up, Tricks McMagic Pants? I don't know what happened to your sound there at the end, but I couldn't hear you. And so that led me to assume that nobody could hear me either too. So we'll get it on the next one. I'm sure of it. I'm certain. And thanks for your help. I mean, really, Kristen is amazing, and I love you. No offense to your husband, Snake. You know what I mean? But yeah, few and far between are the good ones, as they say. All right. Wow, this is a slam and stream. We got 10 people in here. So yesterday on the stream, I went through some of the flat earth basics, just a very small handful. And I got to tell you, it never gets old. It never gets old, stumbling on a mystery that turns out to be a deception that everybody just loves. And just really, people hate it when you take the ball away from them, don't they? And so it's one good way. Hey, what's up, Jay Lance? One good way to create a bunch of enemies out of your friends and family is to know the truth about the earth being flat, right? And then tell them. People fucking hate you for it, man. But at the end of the day, in this era of the Great Deception and, in my opinion, revelation, we are charged not only as Christians, but just as, decent people with the word of God and the laws of the Creator written in our hearts, not on some old tablet or not in some book. The Bene Elohim, the sons and daughters of the Most High, again, have the law and the word written in their hearts, right? And so as children of the Most High, Creator of all things, we are charged with standing up for the truth, standing up for what we know to be right, in spite of negative consequences that are sure to follow. And, when I say negative consequences, I don't mean like detention, but real, life-altering issues that, you just don't have to deal with that sort of thing when you are plugged into the matrix system, right? And so, in my opinion, since we are charged, especially like, me as a Christian, I'm charged as a Christian to stand up for the truth, stand up for injustice, and try to represent a position of love and of forgiveness and represent a position of truth, right? And in this world, especially in the state that it's in, just filled with deception and pornography and violence and just all kinds of injustices, poisoning our water with fluoride. And, you could go on and on. Prison for profit system. I mean, there's a lot of gross injustices in the world. And if we refuse or fail to fight against that, or at least be present and, withdraw our consent from such a system, it's a moral imperative, right? And the way that they've got it set up is if you, if a person follows their heart and answers that call of the moral imperative that I just mentioned, it's going to ruin your life, dude. Like, in this world, the best way to get ahead is to go along with it, right? Go along with the system. And, it's a lot easier than going against the system. However, me personally, I could never go back to being deceived, about the shape of the world or so many other things, right? Could never go back. However, I kind of miss the ignorance. You know what I mean? Sometimes it is nice to be ignorant of things. And so I guess you have to choose a side, man. Tabby Robbie says, I remember you from 2016. I like Eric Dubé's videos too. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you. Yeah, praise God there, Jay Lentz. Divide and conquer. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Kristen. Like I said, you have to pick a side. And when you pick the side of truth and stupidity, I don't know. No, when you pick the side of truth and you choose the side to withdraw your consent from the system, that's basically parasite, that's sucking the lifeblood out of all of us, through not just through the currency, not just through, forcing us to go through school where they deceive us and indoctrinate us into this system that, many of us are still stuck with. If you go against that system and, you choose that side, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Like it's not going to be a whole lot of fun. You know what I mean? But, what does it profit a man, or what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul, sort of thing, right? And so I guess what I'm here to say is if I had it to do all over again, I would choose flat earth and the truth any old day of the week. But I'm still paying for it, man. And I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you've got family members or friends that no longer talk to you because of the truth, try to wear it as a badge of honor, man. Yeshua, her Mashiach, Jesus said, paraphrasing, but in certain times, people will abuse you and call you names and do just terrible things to you for the sake of the truth and for the sake of Yeshua. And when they do that, when they laugh at you and throw poop at you and sometimes physically or emotionally harm you, be very glad, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, sort of thing, right? I believe that. But it's hard, you guys. It's hard. And I would love to see in the next year more community. Like, I don't know. It would just be nice to have actual physical friends in the vicinity that you can talk to and spend time with, where it's not devices in between, or like, where you don't have to drive out of fucking state for 100 hours to do a meetup thing. Like I don't know about y'all, but I'm just so fucking lonely, man, all the time. An open letter to the Globetards guy. Yeah, man. I think so too. Tricks McMagic Pants. This year is going to be a hell of a ride. So One thing that I did want to talk about is I almost got killed by a deer today, man. This is the second time. So I was walking to the store earlier and I heard, like, it's very dark on the road that I'm walking, super dark. And I hear like a rustling and a ruckus coming through the bushes off to my left. And something's coming very fast. I'm like, oh my God, it's a wolf, it's a Bigfoot. And then, like 6 inches, a foot from me, a deer just comes busting through the roughage and almost ran me over. It was a big old buck, man. And, it got me to thinking, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just going to the store to get a few things and almost got killed by a literal deer. He wasn't trying to hurt me, but, that motherfucker gets up to speed, right? And if he was to run you over, like, bad things could happen, right? And it just reminds me, nobody's promised tomorrow, man. You could do all the right things and, get straight A's and, never be late to work or whatever, never get a traffic ticket, whatever the thing may be. And then, you might die in a car crash tomorrow, right? You never know. You might get run over by a deer on your walk to the store. You never know, man. And so, I don't know. I think, me personally, I need to work on appreciating the smaller things and wearing this sort of angst and vitriol we get from the world at large, wear that as a badge of honor, right? Thresher Shark, are you on YouTube or other live sites? I've tried like others, Rumble, BitChute, other ones, and never was able to get too much traction with it. I think I am universally blackballed. I don't know. God sends a deer instead of roses for you to smell. Yeah. Oh yeah, I told you about that, didn't I? Yeah. Anyway, I'm talking to the chat, so y'all that are watching this back, you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. You can't say anything on TikTok. Yeah, I know. Like, I tried to do a couple of streams on TikTok and I got less views there than I do on YouTube, right? And so it's pretty abysmal, man. Okay. So, man, I wanted to talk tonight about a gross injustice in the judicial system, but I'm going to wait until I can get Dave on the stream to talk about that. I'll just run something by you guys real quick. Anybody in the chat familiar with the term GAL or guardian ad litem? It's a thing in the court system when if you've ever gone through a messy divorce with children involved, sometimes they will introduce what's called a guardian ad litem to represent the interests of the child. But what has happened is apparently psychopaths have figured out that it's basically a free ATM machine, and they get power and control over people that are vulnerable and going through a very difficult time in their life. And so certain GALs, I'm sure, are wonderful, lovely people who do everything very fairly and by the book. However, other GALs are definitely psychopaths and take advantage of a system that basically gives them carte blanche to extort decent people who are going through a divorce, right? And so I am curious to know, out of the few people that are watching the stream, has anybody out there, are y'all familiar with GAL, guardian ad litem, in divorce cases anyway? Okay, Tricks, appreciate that. Red Bricks 8587 says shifts are already in motion. Shifts are already in motion. Say that 10 times fast. Really, shifts are already in motion. You can't do it. What's coming won't ask for permission. Truth warned you about the road you're on. The cheapest meat you can buy is deer. Nuts. It's under $1. That's funny. I've actually have had Rocky Mountain oysters before when I was a kid. They were pretty good. Oh, thank you, Nimble Horse. I appreciate that. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. GAL sounds like another system scam. Thresher Shark. Yeah. So, like, my friend, and he'll tell you all about it in a future stream that we're planning on doing. He was extorted to the tune of like over $50,000 by this GAL, who basically uses the love for his family as a vector of attack against him, and a basically a ridiculously unreasonable fees. There's no way to fire your GAL. There's no way to get a new one changed without like a fucking act of Congress. They have so much power in the divorce settlement. And I get it. Like, there's a reason for them, definitely a reason. However, when you get psychopaths into a position of power and basically carte blanche, they will figure that out and they'll take advantage of it. Guardian ad litem. Yeah, tricks. This world is evil. J. Lentz 1683 says he had a co-driver that dealt with the GAL and it went against him. Yeah. So there's a movie called I Care a Lot, and it's a very similar sort of situation that Dave is going through. The Guardian ad litem is a little different, but if you've never seen I Care a Lot, it's very disturbing. So the main character of I Care a Lot is she works with the court system. She's got like psychological and legal training, so she's like a fucking esquire type thing or whatever. And what she does is she finds rich elderly people that are living on their own, who are of sound mind and body, but she sets it up through the courts to where she basically signs herself over ownership and power of attorney to herself. So she ends up getting all these people's property and money and sticks them in like an old folks home or like a fucking insane asylum or something, because she convinces the judges without ever meeting the people that are supposedly, invalid or whatever. She sets it up with the judges to just basically swoop in, take all their shit, and put them away, right? And the main character in that movie is definitely a psychopath, and it is, I don't know if it's based on a true story, but it is based on the framework of reality, right? So the shit happens every day for sure. Okay, Kristen, I love you too very much. Tell Snake I said hey. But so if you've never seen I Care a Lot, it's a great movie that will leave you very much disturbed. And just know that there are people, real people, going through that sort of thing every day, not just on the elderly side where they basically steal everything that they own and put them away where they can never get out. But it's also, you have psychopaths that have wormed their way into the divorce industry, if you will. So we're gonna talk about that in a future stream. We're not gonna talk about that one today. It got a little bit too late for Dave tonight, but we're gonna do that. And I guess nobody is much familiar with the Guardian ad litems. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna do a quick bit of e-begging. 20,000 a month. Yeah. I think Dave ended up paying over 60 grand for the GAL fees, and it was over a long period of time. But I researched it a bit, and other people deal with GALs. A high invoice total would be like $2,000. Usually, it's a few $100. But with Dave, I believe he in total paid over $60,000 just to the GAL. And that doesn't count all the money he put towards other attorneys that were representing him, who basically took a bunch of fucking money from him and didn't do anything. So definitely, prayers up for Dave. He's still going through a lot of that stuff with the court system. And, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, man. It's very stressful. I don't have any children. One day, maybe I would like to have children. Not with you. I mean, come on, you guys. There's too many of you. Maybe with you. But I mean, I just couldn't imagine having someone that is evil and a psychopath in a position of authority that is just loved dearly by the judge, right? but the woman is extorting money from an innocent person who just wants his children in his home, right? So we all have our own problems, but I wouldn't like I said, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, man. Anyway, Killian Johnson, when you shake the camera, it makes you look like Jeffrey Epstein. Oh fuck. Why would you say that, dude? Here, I'm gonna try to do it like this. Here. If I set the camera down, it won't shake, right? Hey, what's up, NASA 777? Q for you. Hello, hello. I'm not the best capitalist, you guys. I suck with money. I've been very successful over the years. I've had a home and had good money coming in, and lost everything several times. But where I'm at now is a pretty unique place, man. I've been, I haven't been single in over 20 years. And so I'm kind of lonesome and a little bit depressed, man, and then I was still in mourning when I went to jail for like 5 weeks from January 6th to fucking February 10th or whatever. And, just a lot of grief that hasn't been processed. I'm kind of in a stasis. And then, of course, I've been off of my meds for a month. I've been on methadone for a long time. And so it's my endocrine system, my melatonin, serotonin systems are all jacked up. Yes, NASA 777, I'm from America. Yeah, Jay Lynch, I went to jail for 5 weeks, man. Driving on a suspended license. Yeah. And, in the past, if I would have gone to jail for something stupid, I could always call Mina to like bond me out, right? But Mina's dead now. And so being in jail, I don't remember any of the phone numbers that, are in my phone. And so I couldn't call anyone. It's pretty fucked up, man. And so bouncing back from that, all my clients that I had, I lost. My pipeline for potential clients is gone. It'll fuck up your life. Like, and I was also innocent, right, until proven guilty. But yeah, they don't hold back on fucking up your life. Luckily, Lily was okay. But yeah, it was just a psychological roller coaster. And so, I'm in a fucking world of mess, man. I'm probably going to be homeless again pretty soon. Everything's past due. And there's a few people that have been very helpful, and I hate asking for help. And so I'm going to try to do the right things. I'm going to try to get more contracts. I'm going to try to pick up a part-time job at fucking Arby's or something. But man, it's really hard to work together the gumption and the motivation to contribute to a system that is enslaving and deceiving everyone, right? And so it's like if we don't collectively stand up and revolt against this system in little ways and in big ways and in nonviolent ways, it's going to swallow us whole. Okay, something terrible this way comes, and the longer we, not necessarily y'all, but the longer we collectively sort of turn a blind eye and allow it to happen, and don't intervene when gross injustices are taking place, then we're just as guilty, for the fruition of that. And so, with that being said, like, when are we gonna have this fucking revolution already? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's very important. So like, the truth is very important. People that are deceived don't know they're deceived until you tell them. Sure, they're a bunch of fucking assholes, and I'd rather have a root canal than to deal with another globetard who thinks they know everything. But at the same time, it is kind of our responsibility as flurfers and of sons and daughters of the Most High. We've got to at least try to present people with the truth, in spite of the negative repercussions that certainly do come through, man. Like, when it if it's something all bad, trust me, it can come through, dude. Tabby Robbie says, I wish employers still had paper applications. I know that shit's right, man. Oh, well, and of course I'm a convicted felon too, which sounds real bad, but I had a pill in my pocket and I got caught. So that makes you a felon. Also, driving under suspension makes you a felon too. And so, when employers see convicted felon, whether it's on a paper application or not, it doesn't look that great. Doesn't look that great. And also, when you attach your name to something stupid like flat Earth, it doesn't help your application status with potential employers. You know what I mean? Jalen says, I feel like there's nothing I can do about what's going on, and it's nearly impossible to get everyone together to fight this garbage. I feel the same way, man. I felt the same way, but a huge win, I think, for the sort of truth movement is in Florida, they got rid of the fluoride in all of the municipal water sources in Florida. So that's one state out of 50, but that's a huge step in the right direction. I mean, but like, can you believe that? Like, to get these motherfuckers to stop poisoning our water took years and years, and it was like tons of people wanted the fluoride out of their water and they just didn't do anything about it. And it finally took like like an act of Congress to get the fluoride out of the water, man. But that's a huge win. Okay, to get these crazy bastards to stop poisoning our water, at least in one state, is a win. But now there's 49 other states, and you want to talk about getting flat Earth into the curriculum at schools? Wow, dude. Like, yeah, that's a pretty tall order, because poisoning everyone's water is kind of like a crime. You know what I mean? If you or I went and put a bunch of fluoride in someone else's water supply, you'd go to jail for like attempted murder, right? It's a neurotoxin. Fluoride is. But because they did it, it's not a crime. It's dental hygiene. But it took people coming together with a common vision, a common goal, and no relenting. Like, you can't stop. And finally, after so many years, Florida did that. But I mean, what is it going to take to get the curriculum changed to where they stop deceiving our children about the shape of the fucking Earth? Tabby Robbie says, my dad said people's teeth will be worse without fluoride in the water. Yeah, and I'm sorry to say, but your dad doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. There are much better things that you could use to keep people's teeth whiter, but put it in their toothpaste, dude. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it in your baby's drinking water, dude. Like, what the fuck is your dad talking about? I'm sorry, Tabby Robbie, but fuck your dad. No, I'm sorry, dude. Like, really, I'm kidding. But no, it's that sort of ignorance that is so frustrating, because we've all heard the shtick about fluoride's good for your teeth. We put it in the water because it might make your teeth probably whiter, right? We all know that shtick. But the thing is if you look into fluoride and its roots and its actual, like, what it is, sodium fluoride is a developmental neurotoxin. And from what my research gathers, is it was first used in the concentration camps, the work camps, the POW camps in Germany during World War II. They found that if you laced everyone's water with sodium fluoride, it made them more docile, less prone to uprising, less prone to rioting, and it affects your ability to think properly. All of us are quite a bit stupider for the fluoride in the water, even if our teeth are so much whiter than they would have been had you not had the fluoride, which that's not true. Like, it doesn't even do that. Sure, you can get fluoridosis, which is basically the fluoride calcifies your bones and your teeth, and the calcium deposits on your teeth are probably a bit wider than the rest of the spots on your teeth or whatever. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. But give me a fucking break, Dad. Really? So you're gonna poison everyone's baby so that your teeth might be whiter because you're too lazy to put it in your toothpaste? Sorry, I've got the hiccups. Let me grab this drink. Hang on, y'all. The Soviets used it in the gulags, not the detention centers for communists. Yeah, absolutely. No, there's a chemical solution that I could tell you about right now, but you've got to buy my book for $25 before I'll tell you about it. Kidding. I would tell you about this solution right now that's way better for your teeth than fluoride and is also got just tons of health benefits. But if I told you about it, YouTube would cancel my channel for medical misinformation. Okay. I've spoken about this stuff before and I will again, but not on YouTube. You know, a guy came up with a cure for cancer in the 1980s, a separate thing. He was just knocking cancer out left and right, and they blackballed him. He synthesized what's called Laetril, it's a synthetic vitamin B17, which was originally found in the apricot kernels that were eaten on the regular by the Hunza tribe. The Hunza tribe never got cancer. Dude figured it out, synthesized it, patented it, and of course they buried the cure for cancer decades ago. You know, how many people that we know and love have died a terrible, agonizing death from cancer, chemo, and radiation? I mean, it is, it's a terrible way to go, especially with the chemo and radiation. And so, you know, all that is to say, fluoride in the water is a stupid, stupid thing. And it is a fucking miracle that they got it out of the tap water in Florida. Where are the criminal charges, though? Where are the class action lawsuits, right? Because my teeth are fucked up, and I know that fluoride has something to do with it. Fluoridation in your bones is a thing. What about all of the, you know, the developmental issues that many children have? You know, think autism, maybe Down syndrome. I mean, everybody reacts differently. Every body is a little bit different. And, you know, to poison everyone's babies and to poison everyone's iced tea because fluoride might be good for your teeth is ridiculous, man. There is no other instance or precedent where entire populations are medicated with a poison, right? I mean, sunscreen is good for blocking the sun from your skin, so let's put it in everyone's water. That way nobody gets sunburn, right? I mean, it's basically the same thing. Paxanda 662, he's a broken brain. Who's a broken brain? You talking about me, dude? Nimble Horse bicarb of soda. Okay. Well, I don't know. Paxanda 662, I didn't ban you or whatever, dude. But what are you, some kind of a masochist, dude? Like if you don't like me or my stream, then fuck right on off, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hang on one second, yo. Oh shit. Right. So changing gears just a bit. Oh, and we're going to talk about Polaris. This stream is brought to you by Flat Earth Farms in NorCal. Tank so fire, you'll realize the Earth's flat. Buy some for your globe-tard friends. Flat Earth Farms in NorCal. Thank you, Waz66. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I miss her to death, man. I really do. I didn't realize how much I missed her until sitting in jail for a couple of weeks, and you know, I would just get up in the middle of the night wanting to tell her something, or like even now it's been a few months and I'll fucking go fix something to eat and I'll start to make two of them, you know. I'm a fucking idiot, man. So let's talk about the North Star Polaris a bit, huh? Because I mentioned it on yesterday's stream and I never did actually talk about it. The North Star Polaris, you know, remains fixed central to all the other stars as they apparently rotate once every 24 hours. Polaris stays in the same place, basically. Like it does a very tiny circuit. It's not even noticeable unless you do like a telescope and a time lapse, then you can tell. But Polaris is the only star, is unique in the sense that if you focus the telescope on Polaris tonight, it'll be there next year. It'll be there 25 years from now. Polaris does not move, right? Polaris is basically fixed in the center of all the other stars, right? Well, the problem with that is a problem for the ball Earth heliocentric model, right? The problem is, the ball supposedly rotates on its axis, orbits the sun supposedly orbits the galaxy, and the galaxy flies through space at some millions of miles an hour off into the infinite great beyond, right? But the problem is, again, Polaris stays directly above the so-called axis of rotation, which simply isn't possible just because of all the motion I just mentioned to you, right? But then you also have precession of the equinoxes, which is basically a slow wobble of the Earth's axis, right? It takes like 26,000 years for the Earth to go through one of those axis wobbles. And yet, Polaris is still right in the same spot as it always was, thousands of years ago when they developed the system of astronomy, the astrocharts, right? And, so that's just it's another one of those globe Earth killers, to where Polaris, the fact that it is central to all the other stars and does not move its relative position ever in all of history, flat out debunks the heliocentric model, right? Because, okay, in terms of the precession, the axial precession of the alleged ball Earth, that 26,000 year wobble, that's a slow wobble, but there should be some measurable misalignment between our axis and Polaris's position, right? And in fact, the further you place Polaris, the worse the problem becomes, because if you have an alignment between, this line here, this axis, and a distant object, even the smallest amount of axial precession or wobble, even like a half a degree of that wobble, will throw off that alignment. And so the fact that Polaris is still just where it was when the ancients charted it debunks the ball Earth. And there's a lot more about Polaris too, but we'll just leave it at that one point. Axial precession, which was discovered by Hipparchus of Rhodes way back in, I think, like 200 BC. I think it was Hipparchus, and then Ptolemy carried on his work, if I'm not mistaken. But the way that they discovered precession of the equinoxes was by painstaking and meticulous observation of the zodiacal stars during the vernal equinox. Like, they noticed that there was a minor shift in the background stars that the sun rises in front of on the vernal equinox. And so the amount of axial precession, again, one rotation or one precession takes 26,000 years. So it should be like a degree of precession every 72 years, right? It'd be like a half a degree every 36 years, a quarter of a degree in 18 years, okay? And so even just in over 18 years, Polaris should no longer be dead on balls aligned to that axis, right? In fact, we should have sort of a conga line of new North Stars every few decades, really, not just because of the axial precession, but also because of just all of that motion through space. I mean, eventually you would think that our view of space would change a bit, but no. In fact, the astronomical observable reality flies in the fucking face of the ball Earth, and yet the ballers have the audacity to claim that astronomy only works in their model, right? Which is, of course, ridiculous. Astronomy is based on observations and documentation of those observations, doesn't matter which model you think you're sitting in, the stars are going to do what the stars are going to do as long as you observe it and, write it down or whatever, document it. You can plug in the values of, how the wandering stars, the planets, how the celestial luminaries behave. You can plug that into either model. It's not just exclusive to one model or the other. But the globetrotters, you gotta love them, man. Like everything is exclusive to the ball. Like even eclipses, right? How does eclipses work on flat Earth, man? Well, we can get into that, but at the end of the day, have you gone out and measured the Earth for curvature yet? Globetrotters, I'm talking to you. Have you considered what the amount of curvature should be over a given distance? Have you considered how you're going to measure for that? And do you know what you're measuring for, right? These are questions that globetrotters do not like to answer, because the fact of the matter is, the answer is no. They haven't done any of that. They just, they start with the conclusion being the Earth is a spinning ball no matter what. Everybody knows it. And they work their way back from there, right? Any evidence that comes to the contrary of the spinning ball Earth is just ignored or ridiculed. And, you can't blame people, really. I mean, they were deceived as children. They are doing what they think is right. And it is a very difficult thing to shake loose from. I mean, we were all there once. But you gotta try, man. You gotta try. The point that I tried to make last night that I don't think I did such a good job on was like this, man. The person that is very successful and very comfortable in their life and has everything, doesn't want for anything, that person is probably not going to, back in 2015, is probably not going to be a vocal proponent for flat Earth. Who has the time? Like honestly, it's a miracle that anyone even realized the truth and shared it with anyone. But I guess what my point is me as a proponent for flat Earth, this is who I am. This is who you got. I'm certainly no financial wizard. I have a good work ethic. I love to work. I love the process of making videos. I love to make music, right? There's a lot of things I like to do that just are not very lucrative, right? But, when I see the state of this world, the extent of the deception that bleeds into all aspects of life, including the monetary system, it's very difficult. I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's very difficult to go and try to, participate in this system that is just absolutely fucked, man. I mean, you've got literal pedophiles that get convicted for doing awful things to little kids, right? And these guys, think Bryan Singer, director of a lot of those X-Men fucking movies. Yeah, I think he did 6 months for being convicted of pedophilia. And they'll get a slap on the wrist, right? Then you have other people who have the wrong kind of salad in their pocket and they go to jail for a long time, and it ruins their life because, if you don't have a ton of money in the bank and then you just disappear for a month or a year or whatever, when you get out, you don't have, your estate to fall back on. It's disproportionate, right? So the rich pedophiles get off basically scot-free, and the decent people who, got caught with some pot end up going to jail for years, man. Man, this is so good. And, man, honestly, I get it. So like I know people, high profile people, a couple of famous people that are indeed flat earthers, but they're not going to talk about it because it'll ruin their reputation, it'll ruin their career, it'll ruin their cash flow. And that's the type of thing what I'm talking about is if people don't stand up for the truth, then we and our grandchildren are going to be stuck with this system for however many more generations. And so I'm not some sort of a social justice warrior. I'm not virtue signaling. I don't want any credit, but I will say that I have given it my all, man. Like I really jumped headfirst into flat Earth over 10 years ago. I did, my first video was intended to be a debunk of the retarded flat earthers, and instead it turned out to be me coming to terms with the fact that the truth is the earth is flat, right? And it directly and indirectly changed my life. I'm trying to hide this motherfucker. Aggravating, dude. Aggravating. Okay. There we go. So, like, why would you, like, don't you have something better to do with your time than to troll fucking forums on a live stream that you hate, dude? I mean, come on. Anywho. Sugar is a drug. That's right, Nimble Horse. You're absolutely right, man. So is coffee. I mean, it's so arbitrary, man. Tobacco is a very good example. Nicotine is an extremely powerful stimulant, dude. And just because some committee of idiots said that it's legal, but this other plant is illegal, and we dumbass motherfuckers just go along with it and stand idly by while this person over here sits and goes to jail for however long because they have a plant, and this person over here, nothing happens because that plant is, it's just so arbitrary. And really, tobacco, in my opinion, is worse than a lot of other drugs, man. In Arkansas, you can have guns and a med card for weed. Yeah, honestly, Tabby, I'm seriously considering just leaving this country, man. Honestly, I am so done with America and like just the stupid shit that our politicians continue to do. Like, I am so ashamed that the rest of the world conflates us people with those fucking assholes, man. Deadly Nightshade. I've done angel trumpets years ago. I don't know if you're familiar with angel trumpets, a Nimble Horse, but never will I do that again. Certain things you shouldn't even have to make illegal, right? Because it's just awful. But I don't know, man. I kind of got sidetracked here. But dude, would you rather have the John Christopoulos who is a fucking accountant and never missed a day of work, but also never even considered flat Earth and thinks y'all are stupid for talking about it? Or do you want the John Christopoulos here that's made a bunch of fucking mistakes and is kind of an idiot, but also I will stand up for the truth. I will stand up for what I know is right. I will actually stand in the face of these fucking deceivers and tell them that they're full of shit. Yeah. And ruin my life in the process. Okay. That's what you got, man. And I hope you like it. Not seen angel trumpets before. Yeah, man. So down in Florida, my buddy had a whole tree of the things growing in his front yard. I made a little bit of tea. It's a powerful hallucinogen. Yeah, it's a very powerful hallucinogen, but it's just a bad trip, man. I thought I was gonna die, dude. Thought I was gonna fucking die. Tabby Robbie. Yeah, I mean, alcohol, not my drug of choice, just saying. But I used to drink every day, man. There's nothing wrong with it, but the way that it gives you a buzz is kind of weird. It's like basically killing you, right? So it's like putting you towards a situation of death, and that's what the buzz of alcohol is. I probably didn't explain that right, but there is method to my madness. Oh God. So it's gonna be one of these days, huh? This fucking guy, man. Sorry, I'm having to keep kicking the same idiot off of this stream over and over again because he's just spamming the chat with a whole bunch of nonsense, right? Anyway. Let's talk about gyroscopes, man. So the artificial horizon on airplanes uses a gyroscope that once you calibrate it and take off in the plane, you don't need to keep calibrating it because gyroscopes hold their rigidity in space. And if you actually look into this subject, yes, they use more highly advanced like ring laser gyroscopes and things these days. But if you look into the simple mechanical gyroscopes and how they function, you'll find that airplanes with their gyroscopes and artificial horizons are definitely flying over a flat plane, not a curve. If they were flying over a curve, it would be obvious. It would be made obvious by the gyroscopes that are definitely not flying over a curve. And, forget about the plane needing to angle its nose down if it was a curve. I mean, you can argue all day with globetards about how gravity, automatically readjusts the plane's horizon, right? But if that was the case, then why would there be a need for gyroscopes in the first place? You know what I mean? So mechanical gyroscopes within the application of aviation are independent globe Earth killers. Like the artificial horizon gyroscope only needs to be calibrated the one time before you take off, and it's not like like could you fucking imagine if we actually were on a ball, what kind of technical gymnastics would need to be done to keep your gyroscope functioning properly? Is just fucking ridiculous. The Numa 99 talked about it already, but what's my thoughts on the whole Jaren drama? God love him. I still have not spoken with Jaren since before he went to Antarctica. When I spoke with Jaren before he went to Antarctica, I was trying to get a point across to him about celestial navigation. And Nathan Oakley and those guys were trying to do the same thing prior to me getting involved. And apparently Nathan Oakley and Jirenism had this huge falling out, huge drama. They did a debate online where Nathan just handed Jaren his fucking ass for breakfast, which I don't know, man. I didn't think I would be delighted so much at something like that, but I was. But when I was trying to not explain, but just get a point across to Jaren, he was extremely arrogant about it. I tried to tell him, that Nathan Oakley specifically had a very important point that he needed to convey to him that Jaren just wasn't getting, specifically about celestial navigation. And more or less what the dude said, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is exactly what he said. He was like, well, he said, fuck those guys. They only have like XYZ number of subscribers. Fuck that. Like basically because they only have so many subscribers, their opinions or their facts don't matter, right? Only the ones with at least Jirenism's numbers or higher are the ones that matters, basically. He's like, fuck those guys. They only have XYZ subscribers. I don't give a fuck about this guy, right? Well, it was after that Nathan and him had that debate. Nathan handed him his fucking ass proper fashion. And then Jaren went to Antarctica. I did a live stream going over the footage from Antarctica, and there was a lot of things wrong with it. I think the biggest one was intersecting shadow angles. So you had like a tent over here, and you had like a fucking lawn chair over here, and the shadows coming from, the light source coming from the sun were intersecting. It was like they were on the fucking moon, dude, right? And Jaren's like asking, "Oh, hey, fucking globetard, can you measure the azimuth and the fucking elevation angle for the sun for me, please?" Not even realizing, like, I don't know. I can't say what I would have done had I been there, but if I noticed it on the video screen, I probably would have noticed, hey, wait a minute, man, there's something up with these shadows. It's almost as if they're using a local light source, right? So, oh, you're welcome, Numa. So I guess the answer is, either they shot that shit on like a soundstage, similar to the new, like the thing they have in Vegas. It's like a big fucking sphere, and on the inside of the sphere, it's got all those, like, I don't know, LED or high def screens or whatever. I think that's probably the sort of place that they shot that Antarctica thing. If that's the case, that would mean that Jaren was like actively participating in the deception, right? And if you would have asked me that a couple of years ago, I said there's no fucking way in hell, absolutely not, never going to happen in a million years. But now, it seems much more plausible that he was actively participating in it. Like, they didn't actually go to Antarctica, perhaps. They were just in a movie studio, right? So maybe there's that. On the other hand, the way that the whole thing was set up, oh, and there could have been an artificial sun too. So maybe Jaren wasn't involved in the active deception. Maybe they used an artificial sun and he just didn't realize that the fucking shadows were intersecting as he took, elevation angle measurements of the sun using his globetard friends. So there's that. So there's that sort of option that maybe Jaren, he was just fooled. Maybe they actually went to Antarctica and he was just fooled. But the way that the whole thing was presented was a Hegelian dialectic. It was a false dichotomy. Roger Ledwell says, "Hey, John, D-Man was talking to you. He had an idea. I thought it was maybe having you on my channel. I'll drop email in the comments." Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I would love to do a collab. Send me a text, 864-315-7892. Again, that's 864-315-7892. But the way that the whole thing was presented as a false dichotomy really can't be ignored, okay? So really the crux of the thing was, okay, so if we don't see the sun for 24 hours in Antarctica, then the Earth is a ball, right? Or that other way around, is flat. And if we do see the sun for 24 hours, then it's a ball, right? So basically it was this dichotomy that it's either this or that. If we see the sun, it's this, and if we don't see the sun, it's that. Forget about measuring for curvature over the surface of standing water. We're just going to look at the sun, right? And it's not like Jirenism talked about how that was a stupid idea for 5 fucking years straight. You know what I'm saying? But okay. But the way that it was presented, oh, my leg's been going to sleep, yo. Ow. It was very suspect indeed, you guys. Very suspect. Because basically, he walked right into a trap that everybody was telling him was a trap. And he sprung that trap in spectacular fucking fashion. So, dude's definitely compromised, whether it was an artificial sun or not. By the way, it doesn't even matter if, whether they saw the sun for 24 hours or not. It really doesn't matter, at least in my opinion, because if you measure the surface of standing water over many miles and there is no curvature, then the Earth ain't a ball, right? Regardless of what you see in the fucking sky, dude. Also, the preponderance of empirical evidence that is just everywhere trumps one observation of the sun that may or may not have been forged, right? So the only question to me is, like, how much did they pay him, right? Was it an offer he couldn't refuse? Did they threaten his family? Did they just offer him a big fat check? I'll take a check. Honestly, you guys, if y'all cut me a check for half of what you gave Jaren, I'll fucking cheerlead for the Globe too. Watch me. Bet. Okay. But on the other hand, you know, perhaps he was compromised all along. I don't know, man. But, you know, to answer your question, the Numa, it broke my heart. Like, the whole thing broke my heart for sure. I don't know why I wasn't invited to the Antarctic. You know, I guess I'm just not cool enough for someone to buy me a $40,000 ticket, right? Just not cool enough. Oh, but all those fucking globetards are plenty cool enough, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did a 5-hour stream going through that footage if you're interested. The thumbnail has Whitsid and that preacher guy smoking meth right on the fucking front, dude. It's a great thumbnail. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, the Numa. I mean, we had some good days, and like Jaren put in a lot of great research, and you know, his contribution to the movement will never be undone, right? You can never take that away from him. However, he's doing a pretty damn good job of sort of retroactively canceling out any sort of you know, credibility that he may have had in the past, and that hurts too. You know, it hurts, but you know, like I say, the truth does not need people. And, you know, a lie will run around the world twice before the truth puts its pants on, right? So, anyway, man. Yeah, why'd you have to bring up Jaren? God, I'm going to start fucking crying now, dude. No, not really. Did I seriously already smoke that whole cigarette? Yo, I smoke too much. What do y'all want to talk about, man? Y'all tell me. And I am still e-begging. I need help, man. I need everything. I'm kind of fucked. I'm probably going to be homeless again pretty soon, man. And I'm just dreading it. I signed my car over to my roommate because he held my room for me for a few weeks and kept the dog alive. So I signed my car that I just bought over to him. Still paying off on it. Still paying the fucker off. And so I'm way in the negative. My get up and goes done got up and went, y'all. Excuse me. But we're gonna do, you know, we're gonna do big things in the future. I'm just trying to get my goddamn bearings, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a vacation so bad. But instead, I get the opposite of that, right? It's okay, Numa. I was only kidding, really. I joking. I'm not mad at you. I couldn't be mad at you. All right, well, I'm mad at you a little bit, but hang on, man. Okay, Roger, I just got your text, man. Okay, but y'all tell me what do y'all want to talk about, and I will go there for a bit. While it's fresh on my mind, if you do want to help and send some funds over for my birthday. Actually, my birthday ended at midnight. My birthday was on the 22nd, but I just turned 25. Yeah. No, if you want to send funds over for my birthday, it's PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, paypal.me/themorguile, venmo.com/themorguile, cash.app, $the Oh, thank you, Numa. I wish I had extra. No, well, I wasn't talking to you specifically, but that's very sweet of you to say. I appreciate that. Oh, another thing. So this is just gonna run everyone off, man. So you guys tell me what, because I had a few things that I wanted to say about the Gnostics, right? Christianity. But if y'all don't, like, usually when I start talking about that stuff, everybody just runs away. So, I mean, I'll still do it. But, I mean, y'all tell me what you would like to cover. Okay, Nimble Horse, I appreciate you, man. It's good to see you. And I will be streaming again soon. So I appreciate that. God bless you, man. And I'll see you soon. Okay. So y'all tell me. I'm just gonna start talking about the Gnostics and early Christianity. And when y'all start running away, I'll just end the stream, I guess. And it's already working. Yes, my plan comes together. Everyone's leaving. No. Okay. Sorry. Hang on 1 second, y'all. Damn. Oh, my fucking back is just absolutely killing me, dude. Oh. All right. Oh. Okay. Tabby Robbie. Yeah, oh yeah, dude. You can actually make a fortune on YouTube, right? And you just have to pick your subject matter wisely. Anything that's going to upset the apple cart or take profits away from the medical industry or heal people or wake people up to some deception that they've been yoked to their whole lives, you're going to get your ass handed to you. But if you do like video game reviews or like movie reviews or just, funny, just something funny, you can make a shit ton of money on YouTube. It's kind of ridiculous. I would love that. Like, that would be so awesome. I mean, could you imagine? And when I started my channel, it started going that way. Like, I wasn't making a ton of money, but within the first year, it was, I could have easily replaced my regular income within a couple of years if those projections and trajectories would have continued. But instead, what happened was the shit hit a cliff. It was like, I want to say it was like January 1st of 2017 or something. It was like right on New Year's. Everything fell off. Like it was pretty obvious. But if you try to tell people, yeah, fucking YouTube shadow banned me and I'm not getting any views and not making any money anymore. Oh yeah, you're just butthurt and you're jealous because you suck and your videos suck and your channel sucks. But like, okay, all that being said, fine, it all sucks. But so how did I go from making decent money within the first year to making nothing 10 years later, right? I mean, it hurts a bit, but yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. And I could definitely get on board doing videos about stupid, mindless bubblegum stuff that's not going to affect anything in the grand scheme of things, but it will earn some money. And man, it's just hard for me to do some shit like that. Like my heart has to be in a project that I'm spending a lot of time and effort on. And so really, I joke when I say send me a check and I'll cheerlead for the glow. But, I am also very tired, man. I'm so tired. Oh, that's cool, Numa. No, you're fine, man. You're fine. Yeah, the IRL streamers get rich doing dumb shit. Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. When I first started doing YouTube videos, I like money wasn't even in my mind at all, right? It was I got hit with the fucking flat earth, dude. And 10, 11 years on, it's still so important to me. If like part of me wishes I still had my old setup where, I could just get on my computer, make a video and be done with it. But oh man, like I don't have my software, the computer's slow. It's just one fucking thing after another. So you're stuck with these stupid streams that I do here. Alice, do I live in my car? No. I my car's sitting out front, but I signed it over to my roommate for payment on my rent while I was in jail. And I'm gonna have to move out soon too, so that would have been nice to know beforehand. But the way that it transpired, it was kind of stupid of me, anyways. But yeah, so pretty soon I'm probably just gonna be fucking living in a ditch somewhere. But no, I'm not living in my car. I rent a room here, and I just bought that car so that I could have an option, have options to where I was going to go without having to deal with public transport. I do have a dog. But yeah, unfortunately that was not in the cards. Not in the cards at all, man. I fucking wouldn't drive if you paid me right now, dude. So no, fortunately, I do not live in my car. Unfortunately, I don't even have a car to live in pretty soon here, and that's I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, man. Like, my financial situation was not the greatest before I went to jail, and then after sitting in jail for 5 fucking weeks, it is worse than it was before. Not to mention my future prospects have dwindled, and my fucking heart's broken too, man. Um, like I hate to be such a fucking crybaby, but BOOHOO, man. Like, I miss my fucking wife, dude. I miss the life that I used to have, and hold on. It's. I'm sorry if y'all can't see me. Let me set this up here, and maybe it'll be better. There we go. Oh yes. Hold on. God almighty. Well, that's not much better, is it? Whoa, extreme close up. Yeah. Okay, y'all. I promise I'm almost got this set up here. Okay. Yeah, Tony Beers. What's up, man? I appreciate that. How you doing, buddy? Thank you. So let's see here. Sorry, like I just cannot get this shit set right. And hopefully that's going to be good enough. If I go any more forward with it, it's just going to fall over. So I can like hold it here. Can y'all hear me? I guess because I have this headset on, y'all can probably hear me. Okay. So what the fuck? What were we talking about here? Oh, yes. So, if y'all haven't checked out the playlist on my channel, it's called well, there's 2 playlists. There's one that's Nag Hammadi scriptures reading, and the other one is Revelation of the Spirit playlist. Definitely check those out when you get a chance. And yeah, I'm trying to add the PayPal link into the chat here. But believe it or not, I don't even know how to chat. So here's what I'll do. I'll get my trusty computer here. Sorry, you guys. Just bear with me 1 second, man. Okay, wow. I am just such the fucking professional streamer today, ain't I? But you watch, man. Mark my words, you guys. One day, it may be a long time from now. It may not be that long. I'm going to be back on top. I've literally got videos in the works that I've written scripts for and fucking recorded the narration and just never got done, doing the diagrams, slides, animations, video editing, rendering, uploading. Like, I got a lot of shit to do, man, and it is really hard to do on a computer that fights you every step of the damn way. You know what I mean? Hang on, you guys. I'm getting there. I promise. Oh my god. So anyways, Roger Ledwell says, you the Mark Rowe of Flat Earth. Who's Mark Rowe? And I hope that's a compliment. I'm going to take that as a compliment until someone tells me otherwise. But I don't know who Mark Rowe is. I'll take it as a compliment, though, man. I'm like somebody that you've never heard of Flat Earth. So you're like me. Somebody you never heard of Flat Earth. Hold on, man. So let me try to find this stream. Because, believe it or not, I have no fucking way to enter a comment here, dude. Hey. However, I can verbally tell you that the link to PayPal is paypal.me/themorgile. But I'm also going to put it in the chat here. Okay.
Browse like this. Hunting, clicking, searching.
What a pain in the butt, huh?
Hey, Copilot.
Oh, Copilot really sucks, doesn't it? What a pain in the butt, huh? Okay. So here I am. Have I mentioned to you guys today that my computer is slow? Like, it takes forever just to like open up a different window and go to a different browser window. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in 1994 all over again, dude. Okay, cool. The Numa 99. It's a compliment. That's what I thought, but I was just making sure, bro. I need to make sure sometimes. Okay. I'm getting there, yo. All right, there goes my PayPal. I'll do Venmo. And cash. And if I didn't say, I very much appreciate that. It's very kind of you, and God bless you for that. And I think like the point that I was making before was that everybody has something to offer. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Nobody's perfect, but together as a functional society, we work as a team, right? I mean, kinda. I think we're supposed to, and so where one person may be good at, I don't know, fucking playing the piano, and one person may be really good at digging ditches. I don't know. Me, I'm shitty at both of those things, but hey, that's why you got me. But so the guy that's good at playing the piano might give some good music for the dude that's digging a ditch, right? But they all have a function. Okay, but you can't expect the dude that's digging the ditch to play the piano too, right? And so I guess what I'm saying is, if you want a very successful and wealthy capitalist, if you want to watch their stream, you're in the wrong place. But if you want to watch a dude who really sucks at most things but is also a flat earther, then you're in the right place. That's what I'm saying. Tabby Robbie says, my friend supports capitalism and hates socialism, but I think a balance would be cool. He hates free healthcare. Sounds like a fucking Republican, man. Yeah, and the thing is, really, capitalism, socialism, and fascism, they're really kind of like all the same thing, dude. Just different, different spins on it, I guess you could say, in my opinion. Free healthcare, it's a slippery slope. Why can't we find a happy medium between free healthcare and doctors driving fucking Maseratis living in mansions, right? I mean, sure, you want your doctor to be paid well, and I'm not like against people having nice things, but at the same time, a lot of people become doctors just for the bling bling, not because they want to help people. And I don't know, I think that's inherently a problem, right? Like, could you imagine hiring someone to fix your car that hates working on cars and really doesn't give a fuck about your car? Yeah. As long as you give them that paycheck, right? Oh, cool. Thank you very much, Roger. That's very kind of you, man. Thank you. God bless you. Anyway, so let me get back to my purple ambiance so that I look purple instead of like eggshell white. I don't know. Let me go to my history here, where I'll just purple ambiance screen. Here we go. So getting back to what I was going to say, the thing about Jesus is, right, the dude came back from the dead, bro. The dude died for several days and then he came back. It's pretty scary stuff, you know what I mean? Um, while he was dead for 3 days, he apparently saw and did a lot in like Sheol, Tartarus, the underworld, right? And all that was pretty heavily documented, although that stuff was mostly omitted and redacted from the official Bible, right? Have y'all ever heard the term burnt offerings or blood offerings? Tabby Robbie says doctors are so young sometimes now. Yeah, I know, right? I know, so are lawyers. My public pretender lawyer was very young, super hot, and man, she gave me a shitty deal, but I just took it, dude. I can tell you all about it, but let's get back to this thing. So I'm assuming that none of y'all have heard or you're familiar with the phrase burnt offerings or blood offerings, right? So I'm sure y'all probably have heard it, but basically in ancient times, especially it was like a Hebrew tradition to sacrifice a goat or something and like in bloody fashion and then burn the goat's corpse in a fire, right? And that act of murdering an innocent creature and putting him in a fire is supposed to erase or wash away the sins of the fucking asshole who's doing that, right? I think most of us, Christian or not Christian, probably even like Wiccans and Satanists, probably agree that if you go around sinning, the best way to be absolved of that sinning is to stop doing it and try to make amends for the shit that you did to the victims, right? In my opinion, much like a crime, sins need victims too, right? In my opinion. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But to murder an innocent creature, wash yourself in their blood, and then burn the corpse is not really actually going to do anything about your sinning or your, any debts that you might have, with your own self-conscience or with the creator, right? And yet, and most Christians would say that's ridiculous. Nobody would ever do that, but that's exactly what they've based their entire faith on, and it's scary. And I think this is a big part of the deception as well, because Jesus Christ is that burnt offering in the Christian sort of paradigm in their milieu, right? And personally, I really don't think that Jesus went around telling people, the only way into heaven is to kill me and wash yourself in my blood. I don't think he said that at all. I think if anybody told him some shit like that, he'd probably tell them, he would probably rebuke them for that, right? And so, for Christian preachers who repeat the old trope, oh, you got to wash yourself in the blood of Jesus. Jesus died on the cross for our sins. He died and took the punishment for our sins. And as long as you just believe in the dude, then your sins are forgiven because of that ancient burnt offering. Okay. Now, I'm 100% sure, 99% sure that Jesus, in the official Bible, vocally disagreed with burnt offerings, right? I mean, it's even like, it's right there. And don't sacrifice your children unto Moloch. Don't sacrifice your children unto Baal or whatever it is, right? And I would say the same thing about your fucking goats too, right? But for these preachers, these televangelists to say, all you have to do is send them money and believe in, wash yourself in the blood of Jesus. To me, that is ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. And if you read the so-called Gnostic scriptures, It's a totally different person in there than what we're given in the KJV Bible, right? So in the KJV Bible, we're given, the born in a manger story, and the walk on water story, water into wine story. You're given all these kind of weird stories about how dude did these trite miracles. But in contradiction to that, you have an instance where, prior to where he meets up with John the Baptist and he's in the desert for 40 days, the devil tempts him and says, why don't you just jump off of this cliff, and surely, your father will send down hosts of angels to save you. And more or less, dude's like, well, I'm not going to jump because don't tempt the creator, don't tempt God. That's stupid, right? Okay, good point. However, what about water into wine? What about walking on water? I mean, that's kind of trite. And why would you tempt God for that, right? So, well, I guess what my point is that, first of all, there's a bit of a contradiction there, right? Maybe, if you, perhaps, in my opinion, there is. Oh my goodness, I'm so itchy. But in terms of the miracles that dude did, I think the most important one is probably resurrecting from the dead and coming back with information from the other side that we still to this day have not been privy to, right? And so in those Gnostic scriptures, there is more information than we get in the regular official Bible about what happened down in Sheol, um, the authority of the underworld being taken back by Yeshua when he went down there after being crucified. So I guess what my point is I think that there was a lot more to his story and to the crucifixion than just this concept of burnt offerings or blood offerings, right? And in fact, like I would go further and say, I think that's a big part of what they've hidden in the KJV Bible is the reports back that Jesus gave from the underworld, right? Super interesting stuff. Some of that stuff's also in the Gospel of Nicodemus, which is in the Septuagint, or it's like called the Acts of Pontius Pilate, I think. But it's it's a different character. Like the Jesus of the Gnostic texts is a different character than the one that you find in the KJV Bible. And unfortunately, I'm not so arrogant as to say that these ones are right and those ones are wrong, but at the same time, I think that we cannot just take one book, right, that has been redacted and edited and manipulated by greedy men, for lack of a better word. You can't go and take that and call that the unblemished, unbridled, unadulterated word of God, right? Because it ain't, couldn't be, right? On the other hand, I wouldn't say so much about the Gnostic scriptures either. However, I think that there's some very important stuff in there that, the baby has been thrown out with the bathwater, as it were, because of religious dogma and like fear porn, right? Oh, anybody that has a question or a disagreement with this book here is evil, right? And anybody who questions this, the edicts of this book is not Christian. They're the enemy, right? That's not what Jesus was all about either, man. Like, he taught in parables. He didn't give ultimatums, and anybody that says they represent Jesus and teaches in absolutes and and definitely wants power and authority over your belief system, that's not how Jesus was at all, man. He was very much not like that. And so, like, what we have, in my opinion, is a church that comes in his name, that outwardly appears as, sheeps, but inwardly it's, ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing, right? A whitewashed tomb full of dead men's bones is like the church. Is like the Sadducees, or the evil that was in the Hebrew temple of his day is right in, like, specifically like the Catholic Church, and even in the Baptist Church who follow the KJV Bible. With that being said, I think that Christianity as a religion has been deceived. I feel like it is a big part of that great deception. They've got us by the balls, people. Like, the tentacles and the the sphere of influence of the devil basically covers all aspects of our lives. And as long as we capitulate and go along with it, you can pretty much get by, unscathed. But at what price, man? At what price? I mean, part of me would love to just go back to being deceived and believing the earth's a ball and, have no problem with paying taxes and stuff like that, right? Now it's like, I mean, it's not like I'm going to avoid paying taxes or anything, but I don't know, man. Like, do you really want to feed the beast that is going to kill you or that is slowly gnawing at you and killing you? I don't know, man. That seems kind of foolish. But it's like, I mean, I can't do a revolution by myself. Everybody needs to do it. And so I think they have found a very happy balance, a very happy medium between pissing people off to the point of revolution and, pissing enough people off to where they're about ready to revolt. And on the other hand, keeping people so comfortable and pampered and, just ignorant and blissful that they would never revolt. They've got it going too good, right? And so the power structure of this world has made an art form out of, basically not pissing off so many people that we revolt, and not giving, too many people too much, or else, they become, I don't know, what do they become? They become spaghetti and meatballs. I don't know. No, it was like this. It's like the old adage, strong men build easy times build weak men build hard times, and hard times build strong men. It's a cycle type thing, right? I really don't think it has to be like that, though, you guys. I think that the devil and his fallen angels, like his minions, have had their time. They've run the show here for quite a long time, and the deception was very effective, and they got us, but that time is over, and it's really just a matter of technicalities and the dominoes falling as they will, that we're going to see a real change. And maybe it won't even be in our lifetimes, but it's it's there. Like, the domino has already been set in motion, in my opinion. And so I would just love to be able to be done with this life, man. I'm so tired. Anyways, burnt offering, yeah, isn't that crazy though? And so Christians who, if you got them to be honest, they would certainly not agree with burnt offerings or blood sacrifices. Never in a fucking million years. I think that's stupid. No way could that possibly wash off your sins, right? It's stupid. Okay. But when it comes to Jesus, right, because every preacher in the fucking world ever has said it over and over again, oh, wash the blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. No, dude, I'm sorry, but like, that's not what dude was about. Like, I think that dude would be laughing his ass off when people realized that, like, people thought he was a burnt offering. Then that isn't to say that, yes, he did take over the authority of Sheol. Yes, he is sitting at the right hand of the Father. And yes, like, Jesus is the man, dude, right? And nobody is going to get into the gates of heaven without him. Like, I believe that. I really do, right? We still mark our calendars by his birthday. Whether those calendars are right or not, who knows? Very important dude. I just don't think that the effects of his ministry, of his walk, of his actions, of his passion are fully appreciated. Like, I just don't think dude gets credit for a lot of things that have been accomplished and come to fruition in this world only because of what he did, right? But on the other hand, I think that for the most part, a lot of Christians have it wrong, dude, But what do I know? I believe some dude thousands of years ago came back from the dead. Well, what a weird thing to believe. I mean, that's what Christians are supposed to believe anyway. But I think most Christians just go through the motions because that's what they were brought up doing. I think that their faith is true. I think that, they're decent people for the most part. Most of them wouldn't hurt a fucking fly. But if you're walking through this life deceived, and I don't know, it's we'll come to this for another day, man. What's up, Nathan Oakley? Hey, man, good to see you, brother. Oh man, I was just getting ready to wrap up, but now that I see old Nathan on there, man, it's good to see you, man. All right, Roger Ledwall. Oh, it was 66. So am I revolting? Yeah, I'm revolting right now, dude. See me? Revolt. Good to be here, man. Yeah, Nathan, honestly, dude, I'm just about to wrap this thing up. But I've got to link up with you, man. I know y'all do your streams on Discord. I could probably take a couple pointers because I'm just struggling through these live streaming applications anymore. Like, I knew what I was doing a while back, and now I've done lost it, man. Yeah. So, but yeah, I am gonna wrap this one up, you guys. I will put the links in the description if you wanted to support the channel. We could sure use your help, man. I am not doing so hot, and I don't want to die. No, I mean, I don't think it's gonna get that bad, but I don't know, man. You never know. The Numma says that's why they hit you with Santa when you're a kid, so you ain't getting fooled like that ever again. Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned that. I did a video years ago called Santa Globe or something, but it brings up the very point that the neural pathways. Oh, wow. Thank you, Nathan Oakley. Appreciate you, brother. It's very kind to me, man. Thank you. Setting up the neural pathways for a belief in something like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, that's something that you can definitely pull off on a kid. Yeah, oh, I'm so tired. So tired of that troll in the fucking chat. Whatever, man. Thank you, whoever deleted him. But the neural pathways that are set up in our brains for, believing in things like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, when that is destroyed for the children, so when you tell the kid that it's not real and they come to terms with that after some, the fucking hiccups, dude. Oh no, I gotta hold my breath. But so after the trauma of telling the kid, hey, your parents and your teachers and everyone's been lying to you your whole fucking life about Santa Claus, dude, it ain't real. So once they recover from that, really the globe sort of fills that void nicely, right? So the neural pathways that were set up by the sort of belief in Santa Claus and the sort of the fantasy that comes along with little elves building you presents at the North Pole and even sending letters off to the dude, that Santa-shaped hole, that void in your psyche, is fairly well filled by the globe, because it is, in my opinion, it is equally, if not more, ridiculous. The globe is more ridiculous than Santa Claus, like it really is. And so I think that maybe the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus specifically have a lot to do with that, right? So it's like a psychological tactic, or potentially, according to my little theory here, is a psychological tactic to set up neural pathways to believe in fantasy, completely believe in fantasy, like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. And then when you take that away and fill that void with the globe, I mean, it's not like a direct link like that, but it's similar, right? So the hole in your heart where Santa used to be is filled by the globe. And so I think that has a lot to do with why people have a hard time letting it go, is because not only did they convince us of the ball when we were little kids, but the sort of nostalgia and joy that comes along with the belief in Santa Claus is sort of migrated or like transferred into the globe. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think there may be something to that. and also the whole demoralizing of the Christian paradigm, right? Because when I was a kid, when I learned that Santa wasn't real and the Easter Bunny wasn't real, I just kind of assumed that Jesus was right along with them. Like I was like, okay, well, if the fat red dude that flies around on reindeer isn't real, and the big bunny that hops around and gives you Easter eggs and chocolates on Easter isn't real, then by golly, I guess the magical Jew who comes back from the dead isn't real too, right? And that's kind of what I thought, man, when I was a little kid. But it seems like that was deliberate, right? So like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny actually have a very important role in this great deception, if you will. So like not only does it set up neural pathways for a fantastical belief system that the globe definitely is, but it also has the added benefit of taking Christianity down a peg or two as well, in the eye of the believers, right? In the mindset of the believers, especially little kids who conflate Jesus with the fucking Easter Bunny. And yes, that does happen. I promise you. I can tell you firsthand. AKA dweebs. Spaces for 12-year-old boys who are adults. Tabby Robbie says, I wonder if CPS would come up after people for teaching their kid flat earth. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Like, I would not be surprised. I don't think they have any definite protocols in that regard, but I could be wrong. Like, that could be in their plans for 2026, and we just don't know it yet, right? Oh, wow. But yeah, definitely check out Disproving Santa Globe. And there was another, I did a more recent video expounding on that point as well. Did I believe in Santa when I was a kid? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. When my parents told me Santa wasn't real, I cried, dude. I fucking cried. And then I was like, what about the Easter Bunny? What about the Easter Bunny, man? Yes, of course the fucking Easter Bunny is real, dude. Of course. Yeah, Nathan Oakley, flat Earth is just teaching geography. Earth is measured flat, and that's what we all got taught. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, man. Nathan Oakley, bro, I love you, man. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since we've spoken, and I'll try to pop into Discord and holler at you, man. But it's good to see you here. I guess it's like, what time is it over there in London town? Oh shit, you're getting on to lunchtime and shit, right? Well, it's 7 a.m. I'm gonna try to put in some bids on some contracts. Happy birthday to me. I'm 45. I'm not 25. I'm 45. So I can go and get a beer and a cigarette if I want to. Yay. I can vote. Oh, no, I can't vote because I'm a felon. Well, I can buy a gun. No, I can't buy a gun because I'm a felon. Yeah, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed unless your favorite color is purple, and then you cannot buy firearms. Infringe much, right? Anyway, I'm gonna run, you guys. I will. I'll put the links to PayPal, Venmo, Cash App in the description. Should you wish to make a contribution, like I said, I could very much use your help. I'm kind of financially fucking ruined, right? And it could be a bit of time before I have anything pop off. It's a process to my workflow is a process to get in clients. It takes time, and then once you do work for the clients, it takes time to get paid. I mean, it could be months before I have any definite income, and I I won't even go there, man. I don't want to talk it up, but it's not looking good. And I had my car that I was going to use to travel places that I wanted to go, but unfortunately they put me in jail for driving my car. So I'm not doing that anymore, dude. Not doing it anymore. So I signed my car away to my roommate, and now I'm going to have to move out anyway. So there's that. I know, Nathan Oakley, it's all show, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just sort of babbling on at this point, you guys, but there will be more. There will be more, I promise you. I love you guys. Links are down below. PayPal.me/themorgile, Venmo.com/themorgile, Cash.app/ at $the I'll put links in the description and in the chat here. But hey, the Numa 99, good show. Hope your day is awesome. Good stuff is coming your way soon. That's very kind of you. You're being forged into something greater than you can even imagine. I hope I'm being forged into a fucking cold beer, dude. I need a buzz so bad. I'm kidding. You got to look past me, dude. Nuggets News is the channel. Okay. Nuggets News. I'll have to check that out, man. All right, you guys. I love you very much. Keep me in your prayers, man. I need all the help I can get, man. I'm kind of floundering here. Beer, everything's expensive now, Tabby. Everything. Yeah. I appreciate the well wishes. That's very sweet, and I do love you guys. I miss y'all, even though I don't know most y'all personally. I miss you guys when I'm not doing these streams, because it's just kind of nice to know that there are other like-minded human beings out there. And I wish y'all were here, man. I wish y'all were here. Much love from Mama. The land is called Italy. Oh, wow. I really want to go to Italy, man. I want to go to Greece. There's a lot of places I want to go. The main way I want to go is flat. All right, y'all. Y'all be good. Love. Don't be a fucking asshole. Don't lie to each other. Don't be a Jirenism, dude. You hear me? Be kind to each other and don't be a fucking asshole, bro. All right, I love you guys. Bye.